Next on the Nightcast, scores are injured in a commuter train crash.
IRS mistake could cost us millions. I'm Art Sassy. I'll tell you what we can do about it on the Nightcast.
If you want to enjoy the weekend weather, don't wait until the afternoon. And the NFL exhibition season is winding down. We'll tell you who's ahead. That's just some of what's in store on the Nightcast. Stay with us.
Eyewitness News is next on TV 20. Covering the events of today in your community and throughout Southwest Florida. This is Eyewitness News with the Eyewitness News team.
Good evening from Eyewitness News. I'm Rod Green, and here's what's happening late. The IRS is still causing folks in Southwest Florida a lot of headaches, and the regional airport is running in the red. But our top story tonight, at least 44 people were injured and 1 killed when 2 commuter trains collided tonight in Chicago. The crash came at the height of the rush hour on one of the transit authority's busiest lines. Investigators are looking into the crash at this hour. They say apparently one train backed into another, which was pulling into a station. For a brief moment this evening, authorities thought they had cornered the alleged leader of a phony drug enforcement ring. But Lee County Sheriff soon discovered the man they chased was not Richard Hance Jr., but a Georgia man on a parole violation. Investigators are still searching for Hance tonight, although they admit they are no closer to catching him now than they were last week. A major drug bust in Collier County just a few hours ago. Collier County investigators told Eyewitness News that an undercover operative with Charlotte County netted 2 marijuana dealers and more than 100 pounds of marijuana, some weapons, and also a car. Charles John and James Pal Freeman are in Collier County Jail tonight on a number of charges. They're being held without bond. No deal. That's the word tonight from one judge. Back in 1982, Pedro Leal was sentenced in Charlotte County for 45 years for drug smuggling. But a deal worked out with the state attorney general got him probation. Now a judge in Pasco County wants Leal to go to jail for drug smuggling there. There is no word yet on what the attorney general will say about those charges. Well, thousands of people face unnecessary tax penalties tonight here in Southwest Florida and all across the nation. As Eyewitness News first reported last month, the IRS has made an error that will cost taxpayers millions of dollars. Tonight, Art Sassy reports the IRS hasn't done a thing to solve the problem, so the rest is up to us.
Really, it makes you feel like you are a criminal.
O.G. Hubbs used a 2210 form when he filed his estimated tax return last year. Little did he realize that would lead to 4 letters from the IRS demanding he pay a penalty or face interest charges.
You use the 2210 form to show the government why you qualify for certain exemptions whenever you file an estimated tax return. But this year, the IRS computers have refused to recognize the 2210 forms and instead have sent out notices like this one, claiming you owe the government money. As you might imagine, that's led to some very confused and upset people like O.G. Hubbs and others.
Especially the widow ladies, they got very frightened and immediately wrote out checks and sent it to the Revenue Department.
IRS officials say right now they don't plan to correct their mistakes, and they still haven't figured out how to make the computer read the 2210s. So thousands of people will continue to receive false penalty notices.
There's a lot of people out there who may have just automatically sent them the deficiency and did nothing about it. This is wrong.
Stroop says everyone should definitely check the government arithmetic if they have used a 2210 form, and if you have any questions, ask someone who knows what they're talking about. After all, it's your money, and you can get it back if you ask. Art Sassy, TV 20, Eyewitness News.
By the way, IRS figures show that most people who use the estimated income tax form are over the age of 65, so Southwest Florida has had an especially difficult time with this problem. Well, the idea of an unmarried couple living together won't raise many eyebrows anymore, but living together can still raise many legal issues. Unmarried couples don't find out about those issues until it's too late. And tonight on You and the Law, Deborah Ford looks at some of the problems the unmarried could face.
Many say two can live as cheaply as one. That may be true for some living expenses, but not all. Take insurance on household goods. Can you count on one person's policy to cover the personal belongings of the other? No. The other person must have his or her name on the policy or have a separate policy altogether. Health insurance is another problem area. Employers often cover spouses and children in company health plans, but they never cover a non-spouse. You'll have to buy, again, separate coverage if both of you are to be insured. For the unmarried couple, breaking up is especially hard to do financially. For example, if you sign a lease with your live-in companion and he or she runs out, the landlord can demand that you pay the full rent. When two people sign a lease, each is responsible for the full rent. So if your love affair ends, it may not only break your heart, it may also double your rent. And if your companion asks you to co-sign a loan for a major purchase, like a car or a stereo, better put your head before your heart. Co-signing gives you all the disadvantages and no advantages. You could end up paying back a loan on an item that you'll never own. About the only time unmarried couples are better off is when it comes to income taxes. The federal tax bill for two single people where each earns $20,000 is about $5,900. But if the same couple is married, the bill is about $300 more. Basically, life can be a little more complicated for you from a legal and financial point of view when you're living together as opposed to being married. Businesses tend to give breaks only to married couples, although the federal government does not. For You and the Law, I'm Deborah Ford, TV 20, Eyewitness News.
And if you have any legal questions you'd like to see answered on You and the Law, write to Deborah here at TV 20. The address is on your screen. Well, motorists are going to have it a lot easier soon. Officials have set the opening for the last unfinished stretch of Interstate 75 in southwest Florida for September the 5th. That stretch reaches from Highway 301 in Collier County, the toll booth at Alligator Alley. When that opens, you'll be able to drive the interstate from just south of Tampa all the way down to Alligator Alley. And here are some of the local stories that were making headlines earlier in the day. Money problems at the Southwest Florida Regional Airport will force the airport to lay off 20 employees. The layoffs include cuts in fire and police officers and the airport's manager. The county still owes $90 million in debt on that airport. Lee County Civic Center is also having some money problems, and that means concert goers will have to park on a